Hello and welcome to this magnificent Monday. I'm here with you on Morning Barbados. I'm Wendy Burke. Today we will be looking at the Caribbean Policy Development Center. They're going to be launching a special program tomorrow, and here to tell you exactly who they are and what it's going to do for the Caribbean is Mr. Richard Jones. He's the officer in charge at the Caribbean Policy Development Center. Good morning to you, Richard.
And good morning, Wendy, and thank you for having us on this morning.
You're welcome.
Um, for those of us who may not be aware, the Caribbean Policy Development Center, we've been around for 30 years. We serve as an umbrella body for non-governmental organizations in the Caribbean, with a membership that spans across 14 CARIFORUM countries, roughly 33 members, and even more implementing partners. We operate in the region from, let's say, from Belize, Bahamas in the north, down the island chain to Suriname and Guyana in the south. So our role primarily has been one to give a voice to the sector on key development issues of the day in the Caribbean. We work on social, we work on environmental, and we work on economic development issues. And our approach is one to advocate based on the views of vulnerable groups and the average citizen who are often adversely impacted by policies implemented, but yet do not have the chance or the voice to express their side and their positions in the policy making arena. We also, of late, have, well, I shouldn't say of late, the last decade, we've also become a key capacity building institution for the sector across the Caribbean as well. Um, our membership, I think, includes small farmers, it's very diverse. Persons with disabilities, indigenous peoples, we have climate change activists, youth organizations, women's rights organizations, LBGTI community organizations, and other national and regional umbrella bodies across the Caribbean as well.
Okay. Now, you not only deal with the non-governmental organizations, but you also deal with a number of civil society organizations as well. Now, coming out of that and the pandemic of the last 2 years, there's been a realization of what is actually happening in the Caribbean and how it's been impacting. How has CPDC been helping these organizations to bring that information to the fore?
Yeah, well, we provide quite a few services to the sector. We assist in coordinating their voice to ensure that their voice is heard within those policy making spaces regionally. We all know the pandemic, for example, has had a significant impact on our region, and our role is to help strengthen our members, strengthen our partners that we work with, and as we implement activities that help protect those most vulnerable in our societies. So we do, and this project, coming project, will help us uh, work with organizations to build their capacity to advocate for their vulnerable groups. We're providing grants to them that helps build this capacity as well as for them to provide services to the beneficiaries. We will also be engaging with them in training opportunities. And tomorrow at our launch is also the start of a 3-day workshop on proposal writing that we have for our non-governmental organizations in Barbados as well. So we provide a mix of support and services, and again, that voice to amplify their views and positions on many of these issues in the region.
Now, now you spoke to the fact that you're going to be issuing grants. These are coming through the aid of whom? What international organization is assisting in this?
Right. Yes. We do thank the European Union in particular for their support on this project. The project is being funded under the Caribbean Regional Indicative Program, and CARIFORUM Directorate as well has contributed and assisted us in making the project happen. So we would like to thank the European Union and the CARIFORUM Directorate as well for sponsoring this project, which is worth 1.2 million euros over the next 3 years.
Okay, 3 years and impacting how many countries?
Right. So we are aiming at around 14 countries. That's our target. And following the same mix I would have mentioned before, from as far north as the Belize and Bahamas area down the island chain, including the Dominican Republic, the Jamaica, the Trinidad, the Eastern Caribbean islands, Guyana, Suriname as well.
Okay, now as citizens, Barbadian or other Caribbean citizens, what can we do to help these NGOs and CSOs within the region? You know, how can we assist the causes that they're pushing?
Yeah, very good question. I think our society, our economies across the region are facing some very tough and difficult times. Huh? I think it is time for us to be our brother's keeper, so to speak. And we welcome the contributions of voluntary assistance. We welcome the contributions of financial assistance where possible in the sector, as well as the overall input of the average citizen in our work. We often open our work to include those voices and permit opportunities for the public to engage with us and help shape the policies and positions that we take.
Okay, now tell me some more about the launch, the time, the location, and what are some of the key objectives that you wish to have vented by the end?
Okay, the launch is tomorrow around 9 a.m. At the Marriott Hotel. Uh, we are hoping to give an overview of the challenges. I think a few of the challenges that our sector would have confronted in the past 2 years or so. Our sector has been impacted by a number of issues. I'd say one is the exclusion from policy spaces. And unfortunately, in the COVID period, we our members across the Caribbean, our partners across the Caribbean, have related to us that they have not been involved or engaged or included in many of the policy responses to the COVID-19 pandemic, for example. We want to also raise the issue of limited resource constraints that we face as a region. And unfortunately, this situation is exacerbated by the fact that the protocols prevented many of our organizations, for example, from doing event-based fundraising, which they rely on to help fund their programs, and as well as the increasing demand and need for services, which is rising dramatically across the region. And it comes, unfortunately, at a time where our resource base is limited to respond in a meaningful way or a significant way to all of those demands. So those are some of the key issues we will raise, as well as our responses in providing support to the sector across the Caribbean. As I mentioned, through training opportunities, we're providing through grants, we're creating networks to lobby and engage policymakers on many of these issues, and doing the requisite training and capacity building along the way.
Okay. Thank you so much for that, Richard. And here's hoping that your launch goes well as that workshop that you will be having. That's Richard Jones, Officer in Charge of the Caribbean Policy Development Center. Do have a great Monday, and I hope all goes well tomorrow.
Thank you.
You're welcome.